Super Mario 64 intro. This week, oh, nothing good.
You know, before we go any further,
you really put a lot of thought into that
one. I can't even believe this actually happened. So, you have been doing these intros for a long time now, and they're always really good, really interesting. And the funny thing is, as we were starting to record, my plan, and this is right hand to God, my plan was to, after you were done, give you your flowers legitimately and tell you how much I appreciate how much work and effort you put into them. And you proceed to give us that shit. Can't make it up, but here we are with that. I guess good job.
It's a curveball.
Good.
You got to keep them guessing. Every week can't be like a full story or a limerick or something like that. It's sometimes you gotta give them the change up. You know?
Which is nothing. You gave us nothing.
I gave you nothing good.
That is the most truthful thing you've said all day.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Nothing Good. Myself, Jeff, joined by Doc and Mac, as always, talking about Mario 64 today.
Yes. So, two things off the bat. What are we drinking and how are you guys doing?
Well, I'm drinking, we're still in the St. Patrick's Day season. You know, there's not a lot of Easter beers out there. So
thank God for that.
Yeah. Pun intended?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like a His Resurrection IPA.
he is risen double IPA.
Extra hazy.
Extra hazy.
Oh, shit.
So, we still have some of the St. Patty's Day beer hanging out here. So I'm rocking a Smithwick's Irish-made red ale, a product of Ireland.
It's a really interesting can. Is
like
it good?
Myself. Yes, it is. It is good. It is very good. Yes. I mean, these are beers I'm, very familiar with and drinking and everything. So, they're, again, Irish. They're just beer to me. So,
but, it's like water.
No, that's Miller Lite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh, so Still City.
Well, more Coors Light then.
Or Still Shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least it's Irish.
It is. Like me.
Just like you.
Yeah.
A little bit Irish in you.
A little bit of Irish.
Instead of you giving it.
Oof.
You're taking it.
That's kind of a weird thing to do with my thumb, but you know what? We digress.
How did your St. Patrick's Day celebration go last week?
I went to bed.
Good man.
Yeah. It was just a. It's like, hey, no, it's late.
It's late.
I gotta get ready for work tomorrow.
It's 2 p.m.
Yeah,
I'm going to bed.
It's a Sunday.
I'm drinking a New Belgium Hazy Glare IPA. Still on that New Belgium kick from last week. I still have probably 3 more in my fridge right now. I'm desperately trying to get rid of. We're getting there. Soon I'll be on to something brand new, and I'm so excited for it.
Are you saying that you're going to be close to getting something good?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm doing good. I just finished
where that came from.
Friday. I took a personal day on Friday, took the day off. Then I worked yesterday. But I took the personal day on Friday because I just needed a day, and I needed to finish all my continuing education classes for my certification. So that's done. And paid for. It's nice to take classes and kind of brush up on hand muscles and different interventions for occupational. I do occupational therapy for you motherfuckers out there who don't know and don't even know what the fuck that is. Don't ask. No one ever fucking knows. They just know what PT is, but that's a whole conversation for another subject, another podcast. But yeah, that's done. I feel like I've learned a little bit. It's nice to kind of still have to take classes from time to time every few years, but beyond that, I'm just ready to talk about this fucking episode. What's going on with you, Jeff?
So today I'm also still drinking Irish beer. I got a case of an Irish variety pack, which include Smithwick's, Harp, and Guinness. So I'm drinking a Harp this morning, or this afternoon. What time is it now? I don't
It's
know.
afternoon.
Yeah,
It's like 1.
this afternoon.
Jeff, how was the cruise?
It's good.
Do you
I'll tell
remember?
I will tell you all about it next week.
Do you remember anything about the cruise?
Yes,
Okay.
there was water
Yeah.
and a lot of booze.
And a lot of booze.
Yeah.
A
That was.
whole lot of booze.
What time did you start drinking on average every day that you're on this cruise, Jeff?
When I got up,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's awesome.
we had a $700 bar tab.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like you paid that in advance, or like that's what it was like
part
at
of
the end?
It was part of the package. So
Okay.
I drank every cent of it.
Oh, you can't leave anything on the table.
No,
No, you can't.
so
Did you leave? How was your room?
it's nice. We had, I think we were on the port side of the ship.
Oh, good.
Oh,
With a balcony and a hammock.
nope.
No
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
I don't.
Is there like an enclosure though, so you don't roll off the fucking boat?
So it's
No.
it's about waist. The glass wall is about waist high, so you could go over.
You could
technically.
theoretically
But
roll the fuck
the
off.
hammock hangs below the glass.
Cruise hammock is not something I'm fucking with.
I'm so fascinated by the idea
It's
of a
amazing.
fucking hammock.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. All the outside rooms have a balcony with a hammock.
Holy
Cruise
shit.
I was on, I just had a fucking window.
Yeah. So shout out to Virgin Cruise Lines for their
Yeah.
adults only
Carnival, where the fuck you at?
cruise.
Yeah.
No no kids running around.
That's
Just
the
a
most
whole-
important
There were
part.
20 bars on the ship.
Holy shit.
So-
Did you go to every one of them?
No, Dave.
Yes.
Holy ship.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
What are the Bahamas like?
Nice. I've been to the Bahamas before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So on the cruise, we just did one day in Bimini, which is an island
Okay.
in the Bahamas.
That's awesome. Did they have any excursions? Did you do any excursions?
Yeah. So we signed up to do snorkeling in a shipwreck
That sounds
and with sharks,
sounded like a good
nurse
time.
sharks.
So, what insurance policy did you have to take out to go on this cruise? Because like
And I signed the waiver.
portside fucking hammock and
Danger
snorkeling
shit.
with, and danger sharks are like things I'm not quite
I
prepared
wasn't
for.
bleeding. Like last time I swam with sharks.
So when my wife and I went on our first cruise years ago, we stayed in Nassau. That was where our port was, and
Yeah.
we took a day trip to Atlantis,
That's where we went for our honeymoon. Was
which
Atlantis.
was pretty fucking
Yeah.
baller.
It was
Jesus
wild.
Christ! The only thing I didn't like about Atlantis though was the sand, because it's fake. Like it's that white sand that's not.
Yeah.
It gets everywhere. It fucking did though. Felt like fucking Anakin in that shit.
Jones understands, Anakin.
I did. Like it was like regular beach sand does get everywhere anyhow, but like Atlantis sand, and you know what I'm talking about. It's like it's different.
Yeah, so when we were in Atlantis, the conditions of the water where the water was too choppy to actually let people go in, so you could walk on the beach. We went in anyways, and
Somebody almost died.
I got pulled in by the undertow,
shit.
and immediately like Melissa was standing there, and I disappeared, and then I immediately got fucking thrown out of the ocean and landed in the sand. Fucking sand everywhere.
Yeah. So what you're telling me
Of
is
course.
not even the ocean wanted you.
No. And I'm like, you know what?
Spat you out.
I'm like, back to the fucking pool bar for me.
Like, you know what? Lesson learned.
See, I don't trust the ocean. I don't. I respect it. I don't trust it.
Yeah. My wife thought it was hilarious. I did
It
not.
sounds funny.
Yeah.
I have a visual of you literally flying like 7 feet in the air.
Oh, and his
If you
arms
ever-
and his legs are flailing
Yeah.
too.
If
like,
you ever
what's
play
happening?
Street Fighter 2 when Blanca like spins and flies, that was me coming out of the ocean
my
and landing face first in the sand.
Dude, when we went to
I see the ocean throwing Jeff out of it the way that like Jazz got thrown out of the house and
I remember like years ago we went my wife and I went a beach trip with Mr. Brown and his family, and that particular one of the days we were there, it was really choppy, like water, like real bad. It was like a riptide, and my wife, who's a daredevil, not as much as she used to be, decides like, "Fuck it, I'm getting in there."
your wife was a daredevil, man.
Fuck man,
I don't know how you survived it. I don't know how you survived it.
I tamed that ass. Yep. Fuck it. It's true. She'll tell you. She will.
Shout out to Allie.
Yeah.
Allie Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She still has her moments like this where like I was like, you probably shouldn't get in the fucking water, and she's like, it should be fine. My wife is an avid swimmer, man. Like she fucking loves the ocean. That's where she feels like the most herself. So she goes out there and she's like, let's say like she's in front of me and she's like a yard away. She goes under the water.
What you're not seeing here, everybody, is Jones's eyes are just going towards the horizon.
In like 30 seconds, she's like, I just see her head pop up. Like I sort of got like a half mile away. And she gets out of the water like, I think I'm done. I said, yes, you are. She goes, that was really scary. I'm like, it fucking was.
Told you not to do
Don't
it.
fucking get in there. They told you not to get in there. Like, no, the ocean is not to be trifled with.
It's not.
Nope.
You give zero fucks.
No, and it will spit your ass.
There's
right, and it did.
There is just so many weird shit in there. I just, I'm a big fan of anytime we go to the beach. Steph always gives me shit because she's like, you don't ever go really deep. I'm like, fuck no.
You don't want to. You don't have to.
I don't have to.
That shit
I
is dangerous.
I can go 3.5, 4 feet into the water and be fine. I can see what's around me. I wear water shoes when I go into the ocean. I don't want to put I don't know what's in there.
Nothing wrong with water shoes.
No, nothing at all. But like she's
Libras
like,
unite.
She's like, let's
Just fucking water shoes. Baby.
I wear fucking fuck. I'll drink to
that fucking
water fucking shoes. Jesus Christ.
I did not wear water shoes. Nor will I ever, because I'm a fucking adult.
Listen, one of the first times I was ever in the ocean, and we didn't go to the beach as kids. Jimmy Mac traveled for work. When Jimmy Mac was off,
He ain't traveling.
he ain't fucking traveling. We're not taking the kids to the beach for a week or anything like that. Plus, like, my mom lived at the beach when she was a teenager and everything, because they just go to the Jersey Shore and shit all the time. She's like, I don't want to fucking go back. So, translation, Dave hung around during the summer. So, I'm 18, going on 19. Cousin's getting married in Cape May, New Jersey. Family's like, you don't get to go to the ocean very often, right? Like, I was like, you want to go to the ocean? Like, I'm in a suit and everything. Yeah, just roll your pants up a little bit. We'll just go walk in. So I'm literally in there for 3 or 4 minutes, and there's this little rocky area, and my foot kind of slips, and literally,
it's not. It fucking is.
No, it is. And there are a bunch of seashells. So my foot goes through the seashells like it's a fucking cheese grater, and just gets all cut up. Just all cut up, and I'm bleeding through my foot.
Dude, why would this even happen to you?
I don't know.
What kind of fucking luck is that?
I'm telling you,
You're
man.
like, well, I got a suit on. Maybe I should. Just roll your sleeves up. Roll your pant leg up. You'll be fine. Like, okay.
No, rolls his ankle into fucking jagged shells.
2 minutes later.
Yeah.
And so, but of course, this is a family wedding, so I've been drinking. So I've got a pretty good buzz for 18
it's even
going
more
on
dangerous.
Here. So I don't feel it necessarily. I see it happen. I know it happened. I wasn't feeling it happen until we're an hour in the drive back to Philadelphia, and the booze are starting to wear off, and just the pain in my foot just starts shooting up my leg. Is the realization that I've got all these I've got 17 cuts in my foot on both sides, the left and right side, not on the bottom of the foot, it's on the sides of the foot. And then I got to go home and now we got to make sure we clean it all out. So then it's the peroxide and kind of get the sand out and everything else. So
it gets everywhere, even in your wounds.
It gets everywhere, yeah, in the wounds,
especially in the wounds.
So from that point forward, I've never trusted the ocean with my bare feet. So, fucking water shoes every time now.
Yeah, water shoes. I wear water shoes just because sometimes, as we all know, you go to the beach, on a hot enough day, that sand is motherfucking painful. And you will never see a grown man run fast when it's hot sand and you're carrying bags and umbrellas and shit.
On your tippy toes and
you're
just
Oh, what was it? Last year we went fucking with the Lindemans. We went to the fucking beach, and we had to where we stayed. There was a beach, but it was super packed. So every day we would drive 10 minutes to a nice, really flat area. But it was parking was kind of shit. And the last day we were there, we went, and it was hot as fuck. And the parking lot was when I say it was hot. It was you put your bare foot on that pavement, the pavement it felt like you were singeing everything off your skin.
You
Like,
could see it steaming.
and I remember, like, I feel like, I'm not saying I'm a big tough guy, but like, I got a pretty high tolerance for pain, all things considered. I was a little bitch. And it was like a video game.
Oh.
Like, I would run until I found a patch of grass. I would stand on the grass.
Or something in the shade.
Trying to find, where's the other patch of grass?
Where's the next shadow I could put my
Because
feet
the
in?
car was so fucking far away. And I'm like, why did I decide to do this? This is terrible. And I'm like, because I gave my water shoes to Allie because she didn't have any.
You're
And
a gentleman.
Well, fuck, of course.
And a bitch.
Oh, yeah, I was a bitch. And I just remember the pain, the fucking pain getting to the car and, like, diving into the car just to get my feet off the fucking... I'm like, God, why have you forsaken me?
I hear these conversations, and I think about people that, like, don't like to leave their house. Like, I don't really...
This is why they don't leave.
This is why they don't leave.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
You know, I mean, the last time we went to the beach, I remember the first day we were there, the sand felt like it was 120 degrees.
Because it probably was.
Probably was. And then, like, it rained that first day, and then, like, afterwards, it was like, the sand was, like, normal again. So I'd have to worry about, you know, burning everything that I had on my feet left. Even, like, with sandals and stuff, like, it still feels pretty hot, but... But yeah, so that was my first, like... That was my first time actually in the ocean. 4 minutes in. Seashells.
You learned a very valuable lesson.
I did.
Water
And
shoes.
I've carried them ever since. Yeah.
Yep. The ocean's nothing to fuck with.
Nope. You hear all those stories. You know how you know why I've never really been bit by a shark? Because I just don't fuck with that shit.
You don't put yourself in that position.
No. It sounds like you're not going to get by a shark. No, because I'm on fucking land.
That's why you didn't go to Jamaica when I got married. You knew.
Sharks.
There
water.
was a lot going on there. Yeah, at that point, there's just too many risks. The flight, the sharks,
There's some risks, man.
the Lindemans,
The potential.
just the Lindemans.
No, it wasn't. They weren't the risks. It was the other couple that was with us.
the Whitfields.
No, the other couple that was with us.
The Vandergriffs.
No, the other couple that was with us. I don't put their last names out on the fucking internet, but our Hans and Bree. Like,
Oh yeah. Okay.
and look, I got nothing but love for them, but they're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And they know they are.
That was a crazy
I got
trip.
nothing but love for them, but they're fucking crazy. Crazy in a good way, but crazy.
It was an experience.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking of an experience,
Yes.
Super Mario 64.
I swear to God, I thought you were going somewhere else. I'm glad you
No. I'm actually
You
on.
pumped the brakes as if you were going to say
is two-
Mike Tyson. Like,
2 episodes in a row where Dave
No, let's
wrangled
not.
it back
Let's not.
in on top.
Listen, there's some Tyson in the news. I can go down that rabbit hole if you want. I do my best to not really go down the sports rabbit hole on this podcast.
That's not. We don't have the audience for that.
No, we don't.
Some people have said it's like I would listen to it more if there was like more sports stuff in it. And I was like, yeah, but you know, like,
They can talk right off.
What am I going to talk about sports?
Not with me.
No.
I mean, I'll listen, but I'll probably start playing with my phone. Respectfully, I will.
But like the Pauls, Logan and Jake, you know, I give them credit. They have, you know, created an internet empire, if you will. But you know, they're also pretty athletic guys. And Logan, I always say legitimately, I think that guy's a future champion. I think he has the elements to be a champion. He has the charisma. I think he has that it factor. He looks the part to me.
Yeah, he's a great athlete. He gets it.
He gets it.
He understands what it means to be heel. He
Right.
doesn't. He has no issue with getting heel heat.
Right.
Which is the most important part. You got to be okay with people hating your guts, and he's been dealing with that for years.
And not only
that's not anything new for him.
Yeah.
right, and not only that, but he's also gotten his logo in the center of the fucking ring for all the premium live events, starting with WrestleMania. If you want to generate more heat to the wrestling universe, put your fucking brand in the center of the ring.
This is totally not related to Logan Paul, but I mean, this is not a wrestling episode. I apologize to some of you, not all of you. But did you guys, that link I sent, The Rock's entrance?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, what? How dare you? So The Rock is having a renaissance in true heel form. He calls himself the final boss, which fucking love that. He calls himself the fucking final boss.
Do you think he came up with that, or do you think somebody wrote that for him?
I feel confident he did not come up with that himself.
Yeah.
There's what the fuck's
Someone
that guy's
creative
name?
was like,
Oh, man.
There's a guy who has been writing for him for years.
Yeah.
What the fuck's his name?
I know you're
Brian
talking
Gerwitz.
Yeah.
And I mean, and maybe Rock, maybe Dwayne Johnson did come up with that, but man, that entrance is final boss level.
Yeah.
The fucking lightning. You see, like, it blinks, you see him getting closer and closer, and then the fucking music just transitions. I'm like...
I haven't been this excited for a WrestleMania in a while. Because I honestly don't know what's going to happen. And they finally created for me, over the last 4 or 5 years with WrestleMania and everything, I finally am going into this where I have no fucking clue what's going to happen.
where it's going to go.
It can go either way.
It's like pivoted so much just in the past month.
Yeah.
Of where it was going, and then now where it's going and where it might go. It's pretty fucking exciting time to be a wrestling fan.
Like, the fact that the main eventers are all going to be working Saturday puts such a fucking question mark on Sunday, because is Rock going to stay loyal to the bloodline?
Good question.
Is he going to double cross because he actually is the head? This was the whole thing Rock did to just infiltrate the table and assert himself as the real head. Is Rock going to do something that's going to hurt either Seth or Cody, that is going to prevent them from being able to win or defend their titles on Sunday? What's going to happen to Roman in this whole thing?
Well, I mean, if you're Roman Reigns, so The Rock acknowledges you.
Yes.
And
Big
then
deal.
the next week, he's like, I'm the final boss.
He is the
And Roman's
fucking
like, well,
final
what
boss.
am I? A fucking mid-level boss?
He's like Goro. You know? He's like Goro.
Nobody wants to be Goro in that scenario.
No, I suppose not. No.
It's like when you're playing Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, and you finally get past Ganondorf, and then Ganon shows up. Like,
The Demon King.
you
Yes.
believe that the entire time you're going to be fighting Wizrobe or Ganondorf or whoever the fuck was the main villain portrayed in that game, and then all of a sudden, oh, surprise, Ganon's pulling the strings all along. So, you know, which one's which? I don't know. So I'm loving this stuff
Yeah,
right
Rock
now.
put out a tweet, like an 8-minute promo. He's been doing this every Friday lately.
He
I had a
has.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
I watched the first one where he said, Cody, from the bottom of my heart, fuck your story. And I'm like, well, goddamn, all right.
Heel Rock is a great rock.
And then this past Friday, he did another one, and it was really good. He was talking about his mom, Cody's mom, and how he was going to beat Cody so badly and brutalize and bloody him and put the blood on the belt and give it to his mother. And there's nothing she's going to be able to do about it except for nothing like it. That's really all he said. But right now, The Rock is money as a heel. You know, he's getting the cheers, but The Rock is, we always talk about the wrestler becomes like evergreen kind of. They just kind of transition. Rock is there, but he can't get the heel heat. He gets the heel heat when he's with Roman. When he's by himself, he gets cheers because it's the fucking Rock. Okay?
Yeah.
And then the best part, when we watch that video, when the new version of his entrance music, crowd pops, it's a cool entrance, it's badass, yeah. And then like it transitions, and then the Hollywood Rock theme kicks, and then they pop again. That's a rarity where you get fans that just pop for a theme song twice.
Yeah.
Within 90 seconds of each other. Mm-hmm. And you watch The Rock, he's coming down. He's just, you can tell at this stage in his career, he's just fucking having a good time with this shit.
Yep.
He's just cheesing to himself. Like, no one's been able to do that.
Yeah.
Austin hadn't done it. Hogan couldn't do it. Undertaker couldn't do it. But The Rock, the people's champ, he can do it. That's a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
Not only, and I guess he can call himself the final boss because technically he is the final boss. He's on the board.
Yeah.
He's Triple H's boss technically.
That's right.
He is the final boss. That's wild.
It is.
It's going to be a good night at WrestleMania. Both nights.
It's going to be fun.
It is. But going back to the Pauls.
We're still doing it at your place, right?
Night one's at my place,
Yes.
Night one's at my place, and I think night two is going to be at Noah's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jake Paul thought it'd be a good idea to fight 57-year-old Mike Tyson in a boxing match.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I say he thought it was a good idea is because, similar to how Rock is putting out content, Tyson is putting out content of him training.
He's a bad motherfucker.
He is the baddest motherfucker I've ever seen in my life.
He's the baddest man on the planet.
Yes.
Still.
At 57, he is training harder than I've ever trained for anything in my life.
Same.
At 57, and I did at some point in my life train pretty hard for sports. And this dude, like, I feel for his trainer. Like watching like Tyson's trainer, like he's doing the body shots and everything. I'm like, this motherfucker, how is he going home to his kids? Like, Tyson is he's a bad man. And like when you watch the videos, if you put them side by side, Jake Paul is I'm punching and I'm fighting and I'm Jake Paul. And then Tyson is bam, like fucking dropping bombs. And I'm looking at this like, there is no way we go into this fight and Tyson doesn't knock him out within like 45 seconds. And there's no way that's going to happen because there's no money in that.
Right.
And like the wrestling booker in me is looking at this like there's no way that what I'm seeing is going to happen. Tyson, like Mayweather did before, is going to carry Paul to make him look good because the money is not in them winning. The money is in Jake Paul getting through the fight.
Going the distance.
Going the distance so you could try to do it again. So the next person is going to go ahead and make money off of
it's
working
hard.
with Jake.
If you're Mike Tyson, it puts you in a precarious position because you're the baddest man on the planet. We see the training videos. But you almost have to put Jake Paul over.
Yeah.
And how does that make you look if you get fucking knocked down?
Right.
I can't imagine a world where Tyson goes down.
No.
I imagine a world where he eats that motherfucker alive.
It's going to end in a draw.
And Jake Paul, I give him credit for wanting to box. I give him credit for wanting to be a fighter.
He's not bad in the ring.
No.
He's not bad. But he's in a lot of situations as a fighter where he is he's not in there to win a title belt. He's just in there to make money. If he was going to go through a title circuit, he's probably going to get his ass owned.
Yeah.
From a lot of these guys. But I mean, and I know there are a lot of stipulations on the fight to try to like keep Jake Paul from dying in the ring. But like, I'm going to tune in. I'm absolutely going to tune in to watch this shit.
I'll be following it on Twitter because I'm not tuning in.
Well, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't on Netflix and you had to pay for it, would you be tuning in?
If I could get enough people together to chip in a few bucks, I might.
It's a hell of a thing.
I have watched Tyson back in the day as the scariest man. Again, Muhammad Ali, greatest boxer ever. You know, pound for pound, Mayweather. Other guys have come along. I'm not going to sit there and start throwing out boxers' names like I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know a little bit. But like a man who will end you with one punch, it's Mike Tyson.
He fought with anger. Scary anger.
Yes.
And he was big as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
We are thankfully old enough to more or less remember that reign of fucking violence.
Iron Mike.
Yeah.
Dude, he was Iron Mike for a reason.
He had a video game named for him, and they took Punch-Out and made it Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. He became the final boss.
He is the final boss.
He is the final boss. Even more so than Rock.
You know who else is the final boss? Koopa.
Bowser.
So let's circle back to Super Mario 64. Let's get the fucking elephant. We're going to get the elephant out of the way here and just point it out. Dave, is there anything you want to talk about? Is there anything you want to mention about Super Mario 64 to the fans, the loyal fans who tune in every week to listen to what we have to say?
We left them on a cliffhanger last week.
We did.
And they've been clamoring for the past 7 days, eagerly waiting to hear.
Clamoring with cloisters. Yeah, think about it.
That sounds uncomfortable.
Think about it.
About that. So, yes. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's going to be said. It's going to be talked about. It's probably an unpopular opinion. But I had a lot of trouble with this game as a kid. I did not like this game. And I never really played it all the way through. No. Surprise, surprise to our loyal listeners.
Absolutely not surprised.
Yeah, absolutely not surprised. There was something about what makes this game great that I had a problem with when I was a teenager and this game came out.
Italians?
What's that?
Was it Italians?
Just the ones in my family, but that's a different conversation.
Checking.
Yeah, that's a different therapy session for another time. No, I love the Italians in my family. Greg, Chrissy, you're wonderful.
They don't listen to the show.
No, they don't.
Was it? Wait, hold on.
I,
Your sister, wasn't
Yeah.
she the one
Yep.
who had the fucking nerve to
She
tell
did.
us
Yep.
that if she was on the show one time, what
Absolutely.
did she say? Like,
it would be the most downloaded, most listened to. She would make our show.
She would make us S tier.
yo, God.
Oh, I know what that.
I-
I understood that
Every
reference.
time you mention her name on the show, I think about that.
Yeah.
And I think
That's a
about
bold claim.
like the sand it takes to say that.
I wish I had that kind of confidence in my life at anything. If you just add me to a thing, it will be the best thing you've ever done.
I'm like, I got so much love for you, don't even understand, but I highly doubt that.
But like, what if it happened?
First of all, if it happened, I'd eat my non-existent hat.
Like, what if like Chrissy's on the episode and for some reason it got 10,000 downloads,
Okay, I'll tell
which
you
would be double. If we got 10,000 downloads in 1 week, that would be double our like lifetime downloads, right? Give or take. Yeah.
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 We're 5,000-ish.
Yeah.
so
In that ballpark.
I would go through like stages of grief first.
Break it down for us.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's what I would go. I would go through the actual psychological stages of grief until I come to acceptance,
Yeah.
and then I'd still call bullshit.
Yeah.
I would say like, there's some shenanigans going on. She told somebody to just keep pressing down over and over again.
I don't have anybody I could possibly talk to about hitting that button over and over again.
Exactly.
You know?
But no, we got number love for you. And
Yeah.
if you ever want to come on the show and talk about anything, you absolutely can. I would love it. I would be so much fun.
Yeah, I think there'd be
Should bring a different energy to the show.
Yeah.
We haven't had a guest in a long time.
We haven't. That's true.
Like,
Not this season.
at
You
all.
know, this is episode 88.
88.
Which means we're getting close to episode number 100.
We got to figure out what we're going to do for 100.
And we're gonna have to do something big. It might require some guests.
We might actually have the original host actually fucking show up.
Would he be a guest?
No, god damn it, he'd be a fucking co-host. And maybe he would be a guest. I don't know at this stage.
The seat's still open.
The seat's
Yeah.
literally still open.
But there was something about the change of the gameplay I wasn't ready for. And I think that's probably the best way I could put it. Loved Super Mario Brothers. Mm-hmm. Super Mario 2 was weird.
Yep.
Loved Super Mario Brothers 3.
As you should.
Fucking loved Super Mario World. Yoshi's Island, is okay. And then we get to Super Mario 64, and I am not playing in a two-dimensional world. I am playing in a three-dimensional world.
Yeah.
And where do I go?
Anywhere.
What do I do?
Anything.
I wasn't ready for that. I still needed the video game to tell me what to do. And I
You need to go
think
straight.
I think I had issues with just the openness of the game.
Did you have a Nintendo 64 at home
Yes.
initially? That was you
Oh,
got
yeah.
it with.
I know, so that's the other thing too. I got to a point where I kind of have it's not a rule, but it's kind of a driving force. I will get a Nintendo system when either a Zelda game or a Metroid game comes out. So Nintendo 64, my parents were not going to buy for me. So I had to save my money to be able to get that on my own. Of course, I started kind of working and everything. And so I bought my Nintendo 64 with my own money. And I bought it when Ocarina of Time came out. So the first two games that I bought for my Nintendo 64 were Ocarina of Time and then, of course, Shadows of the Empire. So Shadows of the Empire wasn't necessarily as open world. You know, they were still walls, and you still had to kind of go in different directions and stuff, but it just didn't have like an open landscape kind of a thing. So, and then I got into Rogue Squadron and Mortal Kombat 4 and etc. and etc.
You glossed over a very small but very important detail.
Okay.
About the Ocarina of Time, which is regarded as one of the greatest games of all time.
Probably the greatest game of all time.
But the mechanics are exactly the same as Mario 64.
I was genuinely thinking
exactly the same.
Listen.
And I'm trying to think, like, where's the cutoff here?
So how do you love one and hate the other?
To both, I didn't say I hated it. I said I had trouble with it. I think Zelda, in all of its iterations, was still an open world game. So I think I was kind of accepting that I'm still playing a similar game style than what I was used to. Once you get to Mario 64, you're not playing Super Mario World anymore. You're not playing Super Mario 3.
It's a very different game.
It is a very different game. And I think that at that point, because again, it wasn't one of the first ones I got to, but when I went to Super Mario 64, I just think I had an issue with, you don't have a lot of bad guys right away when you first start playing the game. There's not a lot of danger around you and things like that. I think I just kind of wanted my Goombas to just come right at me. And I
come at you in a line.
And I collect coins and I get mushrooms and flowers and I'm just going to shoot them and everything else. And, it was not something that I was, I think, ready for at that stage of my life.
The change was a little too great.
The change was a little too great. Because the other stuff, too, you kind of already accept. With GoldenEye, there was never a game like it. So when GoldenEye comes along, you accept playing that game for what it is. I had a lot of trouble accepting Super Mario 64 for what it was. So I never finished it as a kid. I played it for a little while, just kind of was like, I don't know that this is my Mario, and moved on to some other games. I didn't even own Mario 64 for the Nintendo 64 until a couple years ago when my mother-in-law gave me a bunch of Nintendo 64 games that belonged to Stephanie's brother, because she's like, I'm just going to throw these out. If you want them, take them. So I took them, and Mario 64 is in there. It's like, all right, I got Mario 64 now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, folks, thanks for listening to another episode of Nothing Good. I'll see you next week. But in all seriousness, I find it really interesting. My experience, and I covered it, I think, about pretty extensively in our Nintendo 64 episode, which is in the archives. Please listen. It's a good episode. It's a lot of fun. I think we called it Nintendo 65. But real brief, going to Toys R Us, hearing about this legendary potential game that's going to be fucking 3D and it's Mario, and this whole new console with like a fucking weird analog stick. It
had a weird controller.
And like, I was already PC gaming by this point, so I understood like the differences and like kind of like the nuance of different, not just using like a D-pad and 3 buttons. But going to the Toys R Us, and there's like a group of kids there, and like there's a little fucking kiosk there and a little glass, and there's the controller, and I finally got my chance to take a look and really look at it, and the fucking I don't know, outside of virtual reality gaming, if I've had a similar experience. Because to go from Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo to Nintendo 64 was such a jarring
it was a big
experience. Jump. To go from, again, a D-pad to potentially using an analog stick was a very big jump. To go from your Goombas are walking at you in a straight fucking line, you can just jump right over them or bop them on the head, to you can run around them, get behind them. You can. One of the biggest changes that they made to this game, to the whole concept of Mario, was being able to mantle. Like, it's a big deal to mantle on the ledges. Is a big deal. Like, if you think about it. But to have that experience and like, my mind, it's like your mind is opened up to a whole new world. And outside of virtual reality gaming, it has never happened beyond that. There's nothing I've ever played, no game I've ever experienced that really changed how I thought video games could exist in. There's nothing.
It built the foundation for all 3D platformers that came after it that we're even playing today. Like without Mario 64, none of that. It probably would have came to fruition in some form or shape or capacity or whatever. But Nintendo was like, we have this idea. Let's see if this works.
It is arguably, and we can argue it, I feel like you guys probably will agree, it is arguably the most influential game ever developed. Like, what it did, like Jeff just said, like, its echoes stand today, you know? Like, there was nothing like it before it.
Nope.
Nothing. And to that the bright, you know, fluorescent lights of the toys, I could still see it. I could still see that moment walking up in this the group of fucking little kids going, ooh, and just to see it with your own eyes, not just in the Game Pro, not just the stills in the Game Pro, not just your Game Informer, not just your Nintendo Power, to actually see it moving. And it was real. It wasn't just like a thing people talked about. It was a real thing.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. So this game was, as we know, developed and published by Nintendo. It came out in 1996. So Miyamoto, who's famously known for creating Mario and Zelda, got this idea while they're working on Star Fox for Super Nintendo. And he's like, I really want to work on this 3D version of Mario. Like, I think it could be a game changer. And they were working on the technical specs for the 64, and they're like, we think this is like the best way for us to make use of this new platform and to show how powerful it could be. It took them 3 years to fucking make this game. And the first 18 plus months were just focused on Mario and his emotions and what does Mario look like in 3D? Because nobody really fucking knew.
Big deal, man.
And then how do we show facial expressions? And now Mario has a voice, which he never had a voice before. And then they're like, okay, well, let's figure out the camera. Like, how does that work? Like, if you can move anywhere, you should be able to move the camera anywhere. And then they built all that first. And so the first thing anybody saw was at E3, they just did the demo of when you fire up the cartridge, it's the 3D picture of Mario where you can move his face around. Like, that was the first thing that people saw. And they're like, holy shit, like, that's a 3D Mario. And like, he has, his eyes are moving and his mouth is moving and his mustache moves a different way. And it's like, it's interesting. And then they started building it. And the first iteration of the game had, I think, 30 plus levels. And
did not launch with that many.
No, it kept getting pushed and delayed because they're like, in order to fine tune that many worlds, like we had never done that before. So it ended up launching with 15. Like, they scaled it way back. But the way they were advertising it, so they started with E3 and then they started doing advertising, and they spent $20 million in advertising. And I don't know if any of these still exist, but they created a VHS tape that they mailed out to everyone who was a Nintendo Power subscriber at the time.
That's
No
pretty
shit.
shit.
With a preview of the game.
Lucky kids.
And I would be super interested to see if we can fucking track one of those
I bet
down.
you can find it on YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
actually just watch like a video of it.
But it really was a game changer, and even, you know, today it's still regarded as one of the best games ever because of what it did for video games in general.
And I think that was probably another thing about the game that I had trouble with was the camera. You know, you can move the camera around, and it's like there's like it was so much to do.
Yeah,
It was a whole, again,
It was a
you're
whole-
not ready for that.
and I mean, by today's standards, it was trash.
It was very archaic.
But at the time, I was like, holy shit, like,
Yeah.
this is legit.
Yeah.
So did you get Nintendo 64 at like around launch?
Yeah.
I got it for Christmas that year. God damn it. And I remember, okay, so I played it. I had one opportunity to get some time with it at Toys R Us, and that was it. That was like, we didn't go to Toys R Us. Like, that was like I asked to go.
Yeah, yeah.
And my dad was generous enough to go, all right, fine, we're in Monroe.
That's very
Let's
sweet
go.
of him.
Yeah.
But getting it, looking at that fucking box and going, it is fucking time. Because it's one thing to have never had an opportunity to see it in motion and play it and then go, oh, you got it. Like, okay, cool, I got the Mario 64. I had that taste, and I already knew, like, this is going to be so good. This is going to be so good. And setting it up, and just spending an inordinate amount of time screwing around with Mario's face.
Yep.
We've
all done it.
Before I even
We've all
launched the
done it.
fucking game.
Yeah.
Before I even launched the game. I was just so fascinated.
You can just grab it and move it around.
And, like, it's stupid. But,
Yeah.
like, I was a little kid, and I'm like, oh, I can pinch his nose, his cheeks, and spin him around. It was so stupid. But you bring up a really interesting point, Jeff, because you're right, and I don't know if I've really thought about it before. Mario did not have a voice. He was Kevin Lilobano.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Super Mario All-Stars cartoon.
Right? So, that voice is Mario.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
And that's
Yahoo!
Charles Martinet, who still does the voice of
Yes, he
Mario
does.
today.
Let me tell how much, and the game, this game is such a beautiful experience because the game is not overly complicated. Mario is not a complicated
It's simple.
game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of secrets or things to explore, but it's not a mechanically complicated game. It's the little things. It's like when you're sliding down like a little hill on your belly, because of course you are, and then you can't adjust your speed. You bonk your head on the wall, and it's like a little puff of smoke at the star, like woo, like it's
Yeah,
like
the
it's
reaction.
So, it's so
Yeah.
good. It's the little things that they added into the game to make you feel like this is a living being. It's Mario. He's real. I had spent since like 1989, 1990 playing Mario games. Since, the original Super Mario Brothers, and playing that and playing the different Mario games on Nintendo and Super Nintendo, and then having this experience, like Dave said, like having this experience was jarring, but it was so beautiful. Like, I don't know. I wish that consoles back then had, like, your PlayStation, your Xbox now. It's been like this way for many generations, where you could look at a game in your library. It'll tell you how many hours you spent playing it.
Yeah.
I would like to know how many hours I spent.
They don't log it. Or they weren't tracking that back then.
Because I know there's no way we're less than like 500. There's no way. I spent so much time, years playing that game. And even after I'd moved away from it and played, there were way better games that existed, like in terms of like the Nintendo 64's life cycle, I'd always go back to Mario and play it. Because it was fun. It was just a sandbox.
Yeah.
It was it is probably the first real sandbox game I ever played. Because it is a sandbox game. Which is weird to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like, there are areas, like, you just get dropped, and you're just like, okay, where do I go? Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. You're just like, well, fuck, where do I go? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to figure it out. There's no, like, real tutorial. And so if you've never played Mario 64, or
I don't know how the fuck you haven't, if you're listening to this show.
So
Even
Mario
even
gets,
I've played it.
yeah, Mario
That's
gets
right.
So-
a letter from the princess. It's the same formula that they have on every Mario game. He gets a letter from the princess that says, "Hey, I'm baking a cake. Why don't you come over and have some?" Which is
I wonder if that's
which
like
means
code for
let's
something
fuck.
else.
Come
I've
over
always
here.
I
and
hope
let's
it was
fuck.
code.
The toads are gonna watch. Like,
Definitely
fucking
mustache
cocks.
ride.
They would watch.
Yeah.
I mean, look at them. They're mushroom stamps.
So Mario gets to Peach's castle and realizes that Bowser has kidnapped her as per usual, and trapped her in the stained glass window on the front of the castle, captured all of the inhabitants of the castle, and basically put everything in the walls. So the people are in the walls, the levels are in the walls.
Again, it's like when you start the game, it's very empty.
Yes, and you don't realize, like, so what am I supposed to do?
Exactly.
What? Am I supposed to jump into this painting? How the fuck am I supposed to know that?
No.
How mind blown were you when you saw the effects for the painting, like the
Oh, it's so good.
just like
So good.
How is that possible?
Yeah.
How is that real? It's like when you played Splinter Cell the first time, and you walked past a curtain, and you went under the fucking curtain, and
Yeah,
it
the motion.
moved.
Yeah.
You're like, if I could make love to a moment, I would make love to this moment right here. Seriously, like Splinter Cell. I remember just going back and forth between like different like curtains just to see the physics of it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was so fucking cool. I had never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's again that goes back to the thing, like, I didn't know what the fuck to do. Like I had nothing to eat.
Nothing
I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, and I had such a hard time with the concept of that.
Well, Dave didn't like it, but it sold 12. It
it's
sold
not-
12
Son of a
million
bitch, Dave.
copies.
It's not that I didn't like it. It has nothing to do with that. This is not that game sucked. It was bullshit. I never enjoyed it. I had a hard time understanding how to play the game. Because like you said, there was no tutorial. There's no YouTube. There's no Twitch.
You play it.
Yeah, you just have to play it.
Dick around until you figure out where you're supposed to go.
I would love there to be a game today that comes out that way and let kids today with their attention spans try to figure that shit out, because they will punch the TV.
Yeah.
I may have done that metaphorically because I like my TV.
Did you have a favorite level?
I did. That was actually a question I was going to ask you guys. So, as you play through the game, there's 15 levels throughout the castle. You jump through the paintings to get into said levels. In each level, you had to collect 6 power stars, which is what Bowser stole all the power stars to basically use that to entrap everyone in the castle. Once you get to 70 stars, then you can get to Bowser, or you can play if you're a completionist and want to get all 110 stars.
Why did I think it was 120? Is it 110?
I think it's 110.
I thought it was 120.
It's 100 something.
Maybe it's 120.
I
don't know.
I think it's
I never
120.
did that. I don't know anyone who has
No, I got close,
done 100% completion.
but I never got 100%. No.
But the 15 levels are all very unique. So I have 2 that are my favorite. One is Cool Cool Mountain, which is the first snow level. You get to race a penguin on your stomach down the mountain, spinning around, which is pretty awesome. And then Tiny Huge Island was my second favorite, where the Goombas are the fucking size of buildings.
Yes. So ironically, Cool Cool Mountain is my favorite of all time, and I think it's because it's like I spent the most time there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's probably why, because the latter worlds, it's like you're getting close to the end, like you're on a mission at that stage.
Yeah. Once you get halfway through, you're just going through and
You're not
cruising
exploring as
through
much.
the levels. You're not diving into the experience of each
like the
level.
first. It's a good point. I think the first, my recollection is I think the first 3 or so worlds, 3 or 4 maybe, like you spend so much time trying to get all the stars and do this and
like Bob-omb Fields, which is the first one.
But then, like, again, like, you want to beat the fucking game. You want to beat Koopa. You want to beat Bowser. You want to get his ass. And you by the time I get towards the end, what was it? Koopa in the Sky? Koopa Castle in the Sky? Was it called? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, there were different versions of that.
Well, either way, by the
the
time
list,
you
yeah.
get to that, I'm not exploring shit. Like, I'm trying to beat the fucking game.
Yeah, there's Bowser in the Dark World, Bowser in the Fire Sea, and Bowser in the Sky.
Bowser in the Sky, yes. That's the last one, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
when you're on the
And that's
platform.
a good fucking level, too.
Yeah.
Oh, God, there's so many good levels. The pirate ship one. What the fuck's that one called?
Jolly Roger Bay.
Jolly Roger. God damn it. That could be my number 2. Because you like diving in the water and exploring a little bit. Like, this game, a game that I always say most video games, especially single player experiences, need to be both accessible, but there has to be some mastery involved. Mm-hmm. You have to have some mastery. And while Mario 64 didn't have a ton of mastery, but there were explorable areas. There were secrets. Being able to like do like little races, and then like you've done that race probably like 10 times already, and then you accidentally veer off to the right a little bit, and there's like a little hidden fucking wall. You're like, what the fuck? I didn't know that was there before. I've been taking that's a fucking whole ass shortcut that I didn't know existed. But yeah, Cool Cool Mountain is like my fucking jam, man.
Yeah, that's my number 1.
I love like snowy levels like that, except for if they're in GoldenEye, because they fucking sucked. They fucking sucked. I'll say that shit again. I said in that episode too, in the archives. That fucking shit sucked. They were boring.
Yeah. So Mario 64, Mario put all their chips in, or Nintendo put all their chips in the fucking Mario basket, and we're like, the success of the Nintendo 64 rides on this fucking game, and they nailed it.
Big time.
It sold 12 million copies. It's the highest selling Nintendo 64 game. The second highest selling game sold 10 million copies. Do you know what it is?
GoldenEye?
Nope.
Ocarina of Time?
Nope.
Beetle Adventure Racing. Because I believe it.
No, 1080 snowboarding. No.
Oh my god, 1080!
It was Mario Kart, available in the archives. And then number 3 was GoldenEye. Number 4 was Ocarina of Time.
Yo, that game, what was it? Looking at my notes here. By 2002, it sold 5.9 million fucking copies. Are you fucking serious? And 2002, by the way. Motherfuckers are still buying
here's the
it.
wild thing, like... So that's 12 million copies sold on the Nintendo 64.
This is what I was just gonna ask about. Go ahead. Yeah.
I own this game on Nintendo 64.
Yep.
On the GameCube.
Yep.
On the 3DS.
Yep.
On the Switch.
Yep.
So I own 4 copies of this game.
Yep.
It's a hell of a thing.
I was gonna say I own 2 copies of it. I got it for the Switch, and I also have it for the Nintendo 64. So, you know, with these games from the 64, they were able to, you know, release them on the other systems as things have gone on. So, do you have figures by chance on like maybe what it's sold all time
All
now
in.
at this
No,
point? All in,
I was pulled in Nintendo
because it's
64
got to be
numbers.
over 20 million copies at least. You know, because everybody bought that stuff for the handhelds and everything else. So, because the handheld systems were basically just mini Nintendo 64s.
Yeah.
So,
I think, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember. Is in the Cool Mountain, there's like a baby penguin.
Yeah.
And we're just dicking around with the damn baby penguin. Just like throwing it. Because you have to take it to its mother.
Yep.
That's what that's right. You know what, Dave?
Mother was on the top of the mountain.
I hope one day you get to it. Because it's a fun game.
you guys didn't ask me what my favorite level was.
Well, motherfucker, you okay, what is it? I thought you didn't like the game.
What was the first level?
Football
That
fields.
was my favorite one.
Because you didn't get it.
Because that's as far as I went in the
You
game.
didn't give any levels?
His favorite
I-
level was Peach's Castle. He didn't actually go in any level.
It took me a while to figure out he had to jump through a painting. All right.
Like, wait, I was hoping when we saw you with the jump through paintings?
Jump through paintings? What?
I didn't know.
No wonder I couldn't figure it out.
I thought my game was just broken. I just had like wander the castle. And, like I'm like trying to find shit outside the castle. Like why can't I go off the island? It's weird.
I think this is like peak. I know other people might disagree, not necessarily in this room, but in general, like innovation wise. But I think this is peak Nintendo innovation.
Well, if you think about it with Nintendo, right? Video games are where they are because Super Mario Brothers worked. The very first Super Mario Brothers game, everything about that game is iconic now. The soundtrack, the character, the gameplay. I mean, everything that really came from gaming started there. And then you figure how important it is to get everything right with Super Mario 64. There are a lot of things that could have gone terribly wrong with that game. Even as something as minute as what does Mario sound like. And they fucking nailed it.
Oh man, imagine if he was like, "Hey,
Like, it's
wow,
Gene!
gee."
Gene! No! I've got claws. Let me get into this painting.
That's what he would have done.
But like, sticking the landing on one thing is good enough. Sticking the landing on 5 things is better. Sticking the landing on everything. I mean, how does that happen?
They didn't stick the landing on everything.
Well,
Dave.
not everything.
And I'll tell you why.
Ooh.
Let me tell you something. I was gonna wait till the end, but fuck it.
Oh, all right.
I remember. I was there. Jeff was there. He wasn't with me, but he did the same thing I did. You spent countless fucking hours in this game, getting all fucking 70 stars that you needed to access the final boss.
Get past the infinity stairs, right?
You fucking do your thing. You fight the good fight. You're dodging cannons and Goombas and fucking bombs and ghosts and fucking fireballs. You fight Bowser twice, for God's sake. And you finally beat the game. It was such a fucking accomplishment to spend the amount of time it took to get to that point. I had a little. This is some doc lore for you. I did most of my gaming sitting on 2 different things. Either a basketball. I just had a random basketball. I would always sit on the basketball. It was comfortable. And it was small. I could just sit in front of the TV in my room and just game. Or I had like this little stool that I made in wood shop that I would sit on. I don't know why. That's what I did. Because my TV was like just far enough away from my bed that I couldn't sit on the bed and do it comfortably and see everything. Because my TV wasn't big.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on this fucking stool that I fashioned with my bare fucking hands, by the way. I beat Koopa by grabbing his fat ass tail and throwing him into fucking bombs.
Spin him around.
Like,
spin him around.
Not particularly mechanic heavy, but for my little brain, that was enough for me after all the fucking work I'd done. You defeat him. Of course he gets away, because that's what he fucking does. Spoiler alert.
Revenge.
Yeah. But he's like, come on, troops, let's go and watch how this plays out. Okay. I remember those words. And then you free the princess. You've risked your life multiple times, like dozens actually. You've probably died hundreds of times by this point. She fucking kisses you on the nose, I'm pretty sure.
That is correct.
It doesn't even actually make contact.
But it's a 3D nose.
But it's for fucking reasons. And then proceeds to tell you, come on, Mario, let me bake you a cake. I'm pretty sure I just saved your fucking life. You gonna bake me a fucking cake? Where's some money? Like,
not where I thought you were going with that.
Give me them coins.
No, I'm not a fucking piece of shit.
Look, I'm just saying.
Like, I saved your life. Have sex with me. What?
Have sex.
I thought that's what
Where
the
were
cake
you
was.
going with it, Dave?
Saying touch it.
That is not how it works in real life.
I don't know.
This is not Speed.
Okay, that's not how it works in real life. Let's go back to every 80s movie we've covered so far and talk about how it does work like that way in real life. Because in Action Jackson...
You gotta wait till Thanksgiving to get stuffed like a turkey.
Yeah, but she's gonna get stuffed like it. She's gonna get stuffed.
Because she's cold turkey, baby.
She is. In Highlander...
Nipple chewing.
Well, right? Speed.
Yeah. There was a lot of voyeurism going on there.
There is.
My point is, that was such a dropped ball. I remember just kind of going, yeah, a cake.
I mean, you'd be pretty hungry after all that. Wouldn't you want cake?
With his size, I don't know. He had a lot of fat to burn off. He did.
No, just
A
thinking.
little bit of exercise is good for him.
Mario, you just saved my life. I'm going to touch it. And then, like, as the camera goes, we just hear him go, woohoo!
Wahoo! But yeah, that was the only thing about the game that always kind of stuck in my craw was the ending. Because it was just like, and it was over. That was it.
At least she didn't look at you and go, I'm sorry, but your princess is in another castle.
Jesus Christ, I punched the TV.
There's maybe an opportunity lost.
Yeah. Next time. But yeah, so the ending was very anticlimactic.
It was!
It was just like, oh, it's done now.
And you don't even get to fucking see the cake!
You don't see the cake.
That's the fucking trip right there!
That's the rub.
That's where we draw the line.
It was like, she's like, Mario, hey. It's like, give some fucking audio here. Okay, cool. Come on, let's make it. And then you're just like, Mario, and there's Jeff, you know, I don't know if you've seen the ending. Motherfucker, Mario, who's just been told this, he's like staring off into space. Thinking the same thing I'm probably thinking is, are you fucking serious? Yeah. A fucking cake?
And he just risked his life. He got a fucking wing cap. He flew from the fucking sky.
Yes!
Came down to the princess. She's like, thanks, buddy.
Let me go get some fucking flour for you. I'll make some buttercream icing for you.
Oh, I'm out of eggs. Can you go to the store for me?
God.
All of this right now sounds exactly...
I don't know about the ingredients. Can you go to the fucking corner?
I mean, you're already doing it anyway.
You already fucking spent the last like 70 hours freeing me. What's another 15 minutes? Take the keys. Go there. Take the car.
Because, I mean, she baked the cake before you got there. That cake is bad now.
That cake is gone.
You got to make a new cake.
Oh, my God.
But I'm out of eggs, Mario.
I was so bitter about that ending. Motherfuck. Anyhow, got that off my chest.
Yeah. It was 120 stars. I just looked. If you got all 120 stars, you could go to the roof, and Yoshi was there.
Yeah. And
I heard about that.
And all Yoshi did was give you, like, a message from the developers.
Also insulting.
You're not going to ride Yoshi or anything.
No. He's like, here's 100 free lives. Yeah. Also, here's a message from the developers.
You don't get to, like, play the game again with Yoshi.
No. You just see him up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which was sad.
A lot went into how we got to the ending.
Panda.
Not a lot went into the thought about what happens when we get there.
3 years into what here, man?
That's most video games, though, at that point in time. You know, there wasn't climactic endings or anything for a lot of video games. It was, you know, thank you, Mario, and then credits.
What's the most climactic, like, OG game ending you've ever experienced? Oh, God. There's a question for you motherfuckers.
I don't know. I have to think about that.
That's
one.
a tough one.
I think I got mine already, actually.
Definitely not Mario.
It is
Any of the
not Mario.
games.
There's no Mario
They
games at all.
disrespect your time pretty hard.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping when they did the Super Mario movie that they're going to end it as anticlimactic as they've ended most of the video games. You know, no post-credit scene, no nothing like that.
Nope,
It's just,
none
all
of
right,
that.
you know, thanks, Mario. See you later.
Well, think about the question. Let it germinate till the end. I already got my answer. There's only one. There can be only one. There's only one.
Nipple chewing?
That's not a game. That's real life.
Is it? Isn't it?
Well, it depends on how much you've been drinking.
Both.
It could be a game if she's okay with it.
It's true. Nipple chewing in international waters.
Is that a movie?
It's going to be soon.
It's like Speed 3?
Yeah. Speed 3, nipple control. Coming soon to the BBCU.
She almost farted off of that one. That was good.
Oh my god.
But yes. So it's okay. This is you okay, Dave?
This is going a weird way. Dave was fine, and now he's not.
Something just popped into my mind that was really fucking funny.
Please share.
I'm gonna try to. Okay. I just pictured Herb. So he's like, I farted a little.
I said I almost farted.
But let's say he did, but it wasn't a fart. He just blows out
Oh, man.
over the back wall of your
Let me tell you
fucking
something.
dining room.
It's only a matter of time. If the longer we do this show, one of us is going to shit ourselves. Because we're getting older.
Yeah. Please don't shit on my wall.
I don't want to.
Just
Thank
you
you.
thinking it was an innocent little fart, and it wasn't. And it blows out like a chocolate cannon against the
Listen,
wall.
we've all learned in
That
life.
was the vision I had in my head. Herb just sitting there like nothing fucking happened.
First of all, let's be real. If any of us shard ourselves in mid-recording, you don't sell it.
No. You gotta no-sell that.
You gotta no-sell this. Unless people notice, you're not selling that literal shit.
It's like trying to jump into the ring and stand up and realizing you tore both your quads at the same time. You just sit there and no sell it.
Oh my god. I've learned
God.
in life, I think we've all learned in life to not trust a fart. So,
No, never trust a fart.
we've all been there on some level.
God.
This motherfucker's
good?
fanning
I don't
himself.
know
good.
why that was so fucking funny to me to just sit there and you're in mid conversation and just just fucking cannon onto the wall and you just keep talking like nothing happened. Oh shit!
So Mario 64.
Yeah, back to
that would
Mario
be the best
64.
ending to any video game
yes.
I've ever
And not
I've
my
ever had.
flatulence.
Yes.
No.
Critically acclaimed. They were working on a direct sequel,
Well, Mario 128?
Mario 128,
Yeah.
which was supposed to release on the 64 Double D.
I wish that actually was like a real full-on thing, and it actually came to the United States
Yeah.
and like was a big deal because it could have been pretty cool.
And once they saw that it was a flop in the market, they're like, let's just stop development on this and start thinking about what the next Mario game is going to be, which was Super Mario Sunshine.
You know, it's funny.
It's unfortunate.
Nintendo 64 is the first system really that you got without a game. You know, like Mario didn't come with a Nintendo 64.
Yeah, it's interesting because the early days of systems always came with a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, always got a game for free.
And then once we got to this generation of systems, there were no games unless you bought like a store packaged bundle of like,
Yeah.
here's an extra controller and some bullshit Intech peripherals and a game that you don't get to choose what game you want. It's whatever one we're trying to fucking offload as many copies as possible.
I still have my Sonic that has the strip on that says not for resale. Because it came with the fucking
Yeah.
Sega.
Put it on eBay and just see what they say.
I could.
Your move, Sega. Sega.
Yeah.
Herb Jones.
Don't make it weird. You're just making
It
it
just
weird.
talked about you blowing out all over the back wall, and that's what's weird.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, hello, ma'am.
Fucking timing.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
But so Dave, I assume you didn't beat.
I don't know why you're
64.
asking.
No, I did. So in my research for this, I did try to watch some videos, just get some gameplay and everything. Again, my intention was to sit down and play it. This was not the game we were going to cover originally. We ended up having to pivot midweek of development. I was out of town when we made the decision to pivot. Had a busy week at work and everything, so I didn't really have a lot of opportunity to play either the N64 version of this in advance or obviously the Switch version. So
I'm hoping one day, when we're towards the end of when we're starting to run out of things to fucking do, between myself, Jeff, and Noah, we can just stitch together an entire episode of your excuses why you can't play fucking video games.
life is,
It's just me. And it'll be strung in a way that it sounds like a full-on conversation with yourself.
nothing good. Dave's version, like Taylor's version. It's just Dave's version of nothing good.
Oh my god.
But no, I didn't have the opportunity to make as much time to play it as I would have liked to. But I did watch some videos. I did watch how the game ends, and I did get a chance to see all that and everything. So,
Based on our experience that we've shared with you, would you go back and play it?
no, I definitely want to.
Give it another shot.
Yeah. Obviously there's a lot of fun going back to playing old games that you haven't played in a long time. I've never been a proponent of reselling games to GameStop or Exchange or anything like that. I've always been a proponent of just keeping the hardware that you have, because you never know when, there's going to be a pandemic and I'm going to hook up my GameCube and I'm going to go back and I'm going to play this game. So, maybe not as much as I obviously would like, but so it's nice to kind of have the opportunity to go back and play those things instead of, trying to go back and buy it again for much more money or anything like that. So,
Yeah, and I think for now, in today's day and age, we're sort of spoiled because the graphics on games are so fucking good now.
Yeah.
And so you have to keep that in mind, when you play it, that this is the style, and this was fucking cutting edge in 1996 when this game came out.
yes,
Compared to, it's not going to feel like Hellblade, although you didn't play that either.
I did play Hellblade. I played Hellblade
For 3 hours.
for 3.5 hours. Give me fucking credit.
Yes. Also available in the archives.
Yeah, but I would recommend going back and giving it a shot, just for the experience alone, especially now that, you have to jump into the painting.
Yeah.
That'll help.
Yeah.
No, I figured that out when I got to the first world. I just said, fuck this.
And despite what you read on the internet, Luigi is not a hidden playable character, although a lot of people were trying to make that a reality.
Yeah.
It's not real. Just so you know.
It's unfortunate. Can you imagine that? How cool that would have been? There was just a random hidden Luigi that no one knew about until 6 years later. What the fuck?
Surprise, motherfucker.
There's
This is the biggest surprise of all time.
There's an opportunity. Super Luigi 64.
Sounds super.
And Mario is in the painting.
We gotta get Mario out of
You
the
gotta get
fucking
Mario
painting.
out of the fucking painting.
What would it even sound like?
Who?
Luigi?
James!
It does not sound like Cyclops.
No, Luigi has a voice.
Mario! What's his voice again? It's like Mario's kind of, right?
Yeah. Similar but different.
You know the funny thing? All I ever think about when people mention Luigi, I just
They didn't
remember
give him his voice until Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube.
That's probably why I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't fucking enjoy that experience.
Because that system doesn't exist, remember?
Yeah. What system? Whenever I think of Luigi, all I ever think about is that meme of Luigi giving the stink eye.
Yeah.
That's absolutely
Mario
the only
Kart.
thing-
Mario Kart.
That's
Yeah.
Just fucking
no human
somebody
being
up
can
with a
make
shell.
that face, but you know that face.
Yeah.
So we had a number of, follow. Did you play any of the follow-ups to Mario 64? Like the current gen versions of Mario games? Mario Sunshine,
Yeah.
Super Mario Galaxies.
Yeah. Mario Sunshine,
which
Mario
was great.
Galaxy,
Super Mario Odyssey,
Odyssey. Yeah.
I did not.
Galaxies 2.
Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, Mario Baseball.
Mario Tennis. That's right.
And apparently, currently as we speak, they're working on the next platform version.
It's supposed to be Odyssey 2, isn't it? Isn't that what they were in development for?
I don't know what it's going
thought
to be.
that's what- I
it's
thought
gonna
that's
be
what it
called
was, but-
specifically, but
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting close to the to the next rollout here of what the next gen systems are supposed to be. You know, well, you get about 7 to 10 years per life cycle on hardware. And, you know, Nintendo's done a great job with keeping their hardware relevant. And even though maybe not all of their gameplay is. And, you know, I always kind of secretly hope that one day they're going to up the graphics and, you know, Mario's going to look like fucking Sylvester Stallone in Rocky 3, just wearing overalls and a red hat. And, you know,
It's unfortunate.
Adrian's his princess.
It's not.
It's not going to be.
Yeah.
No, I know.
It's,
Yeah, I mean, they have a model that works for them.
it really
And
does. I wish it didn't, so they would
They're
just pivot.
just gonna fucking stick to it.
Yeah.
With
One
the Switch
day,
2.
one day it won't work anymore.
Will
It's
it be
gonna
Switch 2?
happen.
Is that the idea? Switch 2?
Yeah,
What are we
it's
switching
supposed to
to?
be out next year.
What are we-
Switch 2.
Didn't they push it? I thought I heard something recently that they might push it back a year. Oh.
Originally they were talking about pulling it forward and
Oh, really?
releasing it for this upcoming
Oh, shit.
Christmas season, but I think it'll probably be out next year.
I'm hopeful that, you know, one day I'll wake up and say, I think I'm ready to own another Nintendo console.
There's some good games, man. There are some good games.
It doesn't look like it.
But, like, I mean, look. You know, we are...
Look, the games that I like to play can't run on those consoles. That's
No,
the problem.
I-
That's
Yeah,
the
and it's-
problem.
You know, we're avid gamers, and I have every next-gen console. And, like, I love playing my Nintendo games, Mario, Zelda, the whole nine. But, like, we're asking what we've been doing recently. I just finished the playthrough of the PS5 remaster for Last of Us.
Yeah.
Like, imagine a fucking Nintendo game that looked like that.
Yes.
I would own the
All the
goddamn
time,
system
dude.
in a heartbeat.
All the time.
In a heartbeat.
We have conversations about this all the time. There's enough IP for Nintendo that you would take it by storm. Like,
Maybe.
here's what you could
Yeah.
have.
Make a fucking version of Metroid that looks like that.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Give me some
Yeah.
of the good. You know? Like,
Yeah.
give me the good stuff.
Samus Aran some love.
We may never get another version of Metroid because, you know, they were going to remake Metroid Prime 4. They started it. They threw the whole thing out. We were supposed to get it like 4 years ago, and we still don't have it. So
What's the deal with Metroid?
nobody fucking knows.
I
They
don't
did.
know. They don't really talk about it.
They put out Dread, which was a good game. Dread was good, enjoyable, but it's not Prime. Prime to me is one of my absolute favorite series of games that I've ever played. I've probably put more time in those games than I have almost anything.
So, like 12 hours.
No, we're talking like you level
Less
Jones.
than that.
No,
Sorry. I'm not going to do that
You
anymore.
motherfuckers.
I'm sorry.
Go back to the Bahamas, Jeff.
I can't do that
You and your
anymore.
fucking March tan in Pittsburgh.
I'm on a boat, bitch.
Jesus
I'm on a
Christ.
boat.
No, I've put hundreds of hours into that. Because that was GameCube. GameCube was the last system that I heavily gamed on. Really, really, really used the shit out of that system. So, it's also when I was still working at Toys R Us, so it's probably a correlation to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but I'm excited for it. I hope it comes out. I hope it's good. I'm glad that they realized what they had wasn't good, and they're like, well, no, we're not going to put this shit out, so we're going to scrap it and go back to the beginning. I often wonder if they even did that. You know? So, but anyway.
We'll know when we know, I guess.
Yeah.
Speaking of knowing when we know, I think we know that this show is coming to a close here.
I like what you did with
It's
that.
natural conclusion.
Yeah. What are you? Organic.
What do you motherfuckers think we should talk about next week?
Well, you know what's coming up to next week.
No?
No.
It's WrestleMania week.
Oh, shit. That's
yes,
right.
that's right. It is.
Like, no, I don't know.
What are you talking about?
Fucking-
Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
And in our cycle of episodes, we've got a wrestling coming up next here. So I think we should find a WrestleMania.
Oh, there are like 39 to choose from.
There are a bunch to pick
Minus
from.
the
so,
two we've already covered.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good time to pick a WrestleMania to talk about.
Okay, you know what? This is not a wrestling episode, but we did do a little wrestling in here already. So, do you guys have a favorite WrestleMania?
Not particularly that stands out to me, anyways.
I have a thought.
Is it one you attended in person?
It's one that I attended in person that I've never watched.
You never watched back?
No. So maybe that one. That'd be 25, as we're on the verge of 40 here.
That would be a
Or
bad
do we
idea.
split the difference? Because I was also thinking to splitting the difference. Maybe somewhere in like the WrestleMania 20, since we're halfway to, since we're going to be 40.
20's good. It's
20's
the
a good
problem
one.
is we got it's the main event's the problem. Main event's the problem.
What's the problem with the main event?
It's Triple H versus Shawn Michaels versus Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit wins his heavyweight title for the first time.
That is a problem.
That is, it's a fucking great match too. It was one of my top 10s. It was.
Yeah.
We could always watch an old WrestleMania.
Yeah.
There are so many great. Goddamn, we can watch WrestleMania 3. We can watch WrestleMania 1. That's let me tell you, that's a fucking experience.
So
I've watched WrestleMania 1 probably like 1,000, like at least 30 times in my life,
Okay.
and it's lengthy. All the old WrestleManias are just long as shit.
You're
It's like
talking
1,000 matches.
You're talking like WrestleMania now isn't like a 15-hour,
It's 2 days
two-day
now,
event.
yes.
It's different, right? Because now you go to like a WrestleMania, like each show's like 5 matches, because it's like all the pomp and circumstance.
Yeah.
Like WrestleMania, like 1 through like 5 was like, I swear to God, like 12 matches on the show.
Yeah.
And that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's because there's a bunch of just random matches, like Bad News Brown versus Refrigerator Jones, for no fucking reason. But
I didn't realize you guys were in WrestleMania 1.
I was at WrestleMania 1?
Yeah, you got Bad News Brown versus...
I see what you did. That's good. You motherfucker. You.
I'm on something today.
You are.
Muhammad Ali was there.
Yeah.
He was getting inducted to the Hall of Fame too, right? Was that announced or was that rumored? I saw some stuff that they were looking to put Ali in.
Where?
Yes, to the Hall of Fame.
Like, this year?
Maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman
I saw
is.
that.
I saw
somewhere, too.
something. I didn't know if it was announced or not. So,
Yeah, we'll figure out what WrestleMania to cover. That's a good idea.
yeah, I think we do WrestleMania in advance of WrestleMania.
It's almost like the most logical thing we can do.
And then we'll have a movie after.
And we can maybe cover a couple episodes of the X-Men 97, see how we feel about it.
I think so.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good to me.
That is a great idea.
All right, well, folks, stay tuned. Once we figure out what we're doing, we will put out another episode. We have like a week to do it, so we will do it. There's plenty to choose from. Like I said, like 39 different versions of WrestleMania. But thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate your views, your downloads, your listens. The 4 of you who watch our like YouTube videos, and when they're put up, I really appreciate you too. I don't know why the fuck you even do it, but thank you for that. And just stay safe out there in the world. Thanks for being on this ride over almost 100 episodes. I am tickled like a motherfucker to see the other 88 episodes.
88. It's a hell of a thing. Mm-hmm. You know?
It's a solid number.
It is.
We're almost into triple digits, folks.
And Jones, you've been a part of every one of those.
I have.
That's you're the nothing good Iron Man.
A lot of hours
The
of
most
content.
consistent part of the show is my fucking voice, and I apologize for that.
Don't apologize for that.
Oh, fuck, I do.
Yeah. Somebody we had some listeners even comment to Jones that sometimes when you break down in laughter, that's like one of the most genuine parts of the show.
Listen,
Like people say you're the light of the show, Jones.
no, well, first, no one says that, but all right. But I the beauty of this show for me, and I feel like I should say this for episode 100, but the beauty of this show for me is I can be very honest with what I think and what I say. Because, at work, it's different. It's always different at work. Even when you're with your wife or your husband or whatever, your boyfriend, girlfriend, it's like you're yourself, but you're not yourself totally. You're being what you need to be for that person.
Yeah, there's a filter on.
But with you
in some
motherfuckers, I can
capacity.
just do what I gotta do, say what I gotta say. They don't pay me to fucking lie. So when I laugh because it's genuinely fucking funny. So yeah, I did catch that comment, that feedback, and I appreciate it. I'm glad that my insane laughter can be hopefully makes you laugh a little bit, because laughter is infectious.
Somebody thought I was on
Shit.
meth.
Shit's good for
Who
you.
the fuck thought that?
It's in the same text message.
That you're
Wes.
on meth?
Yeah.
Wes, that was you.
Yeah.
Oh.
We
Dave-
know.
is Dave
You
on-
know what you fucking
Is
did.
Dave on meth? Maybe.
I guess I didn't read that
Maybe a little
part.
bit.
That was the second question.
Yeah.
So anyways.
That's one of the best compliments I've ever gotten.
Yeah. We'll see how much meth Dave does next week.
Oh, I got
Based
some.
on the sidebars we go off on.
Well, so
Oh. About meth.
Yep.
about meth, right? I wanted to keep the intro simple today, because we've had some lengthy ones. I've got a few that I've been working on, so I'm excited to bust one or two of them out, perhaps the next few episodes here. So pretty excited about it. So it might get crazy again. We'll see. I think they're funny. Maybe you think they're funny.
They're always funny.
They're usually
or inappropriate.
It'll be
It's
a little
enjoyable.
Oh, it'll be a little bit of both.
Good.
So, something to look forward to for the next couple of episodes here. So, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. We look forward to having you tune in same time, same Nothing Good time, same Nothing Good channel.
Word.
Yeah.
Nothing good.